Hey, what's going on YouTube channel? It's Charles down again. Go hard, go home. I'm getting ready to go do my little mediocre workout at the gym. But today, before I go, I'm gonna drop off this video. Some manosphere talk type stuff. Y'all hit the like, y'all hit subscribe, so y'all can go ahead and be hearing about what I'm saying. But some more John talking about these here red pill guys, okay? This I can't say his name, Cheezer Z or something like that. Cheezer Z. I'm just gonna call him Zed, okay? And he's watching the show between this lady, Just Pearly Things, and Hafeez, who used to do the who still does the Roommates show, okay? So I'm watching this today, and we're gonna see some of the stuff they're talking about. Of course, I'm gonna be putting in my 2 cents along the way. See what's going on with it. Y'all hit the like, hit subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into this. Here we go. Let's check them out.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chishu Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Hafeez and Just Pearly Things debate, is the red pill a trap for men? Everybody's been talking about this interview. I've had this sent to me countless number of times, and it looks like Hafeez has continued his campaign of, I don't know if it's separating himself from the manosphere or maybe trying to draw a very clear line when it comes to his view on RP content. Now, that is a very broad term when it comes to RP content. There's a lot of different type of people within the space. Nevertheless, a lot of people have been talking about this. I'm going to do something a little bit different here today. I'm going to read some comments before playing the video. The first comment here in response to this interview reads, Hafeez came into this with the power trip and condescending tone. You won't get the results you want like that. Pearl, so composed and on fire. Keep it up with the exclamation mark. Next comment here reads, this is God level gaslighting. Crazy to see him go on camera and behave like this. So those two comments are in response to Hafeez and how he's carried himself on this interview, which seems to...
And I haven't seen it yet, so I mean, like, it's not gonna be pretty heated. So let's check it out.
Be the talk with everyone else. Next comment here reads, this is probably the most disrespectful I've seen Hafeez. Passive aggressive is an understatement. The fact that he feels so comfortable trying to shut her up and control the flow of the conversation on her show tells me he was actually the one waiting to talk instead of listen. And our last comment here says, the lead attorney, shout out to the lead attorney, made a good point last night. Hafeez is a businessman. Now that he has a suit business, could he possibly be distancing himself from red pill in order to get brand recognition from top corporations?
That could be a good thing. That could be you know what? I didn't, because this guy may have been, to me, he was more red pill, because he was always talking about guys having a hard time dating and all that. When you start saying loser shit like that, I start looking at you as red pill anyway. But he might be distancing himself from these red pill jokers, because you're not gonna get any top corporation or real grown ass man to take you serious when you talk this red pill stuff. No grown ass man is gonna take you serious. So as branding, he might need to get it, and that's why I tell, like, that's why I'm doing my channel too. Some of y'all guys got to get away from this jump, because they're talking about it, they don't understand it. They don't understand. But the more you talk about it, the more you sound like a whiny bitch ass man child. Okay. So the dude might be doing that. If it's gonna, I'm gonna get in this video and see what it's gonna be like. Let's go.
What do you guys think? We're gonna get into this right now and see what the buzz is all about. I skipped all the introduction stuff. We're gonna get right into this. I don't know how much of this I'm gonna play. I'm gonna get as far as I can bear. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
My first question.
Go ahead.
Would you consider yourself red pill?
Never in a million years.
Never? Why?
Never in a million years.
Why?
I think, to me, first and foremost, I think I don't subscribe to any man-made ideology.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of these ideologies put you in a box. So I do subscribe to religion, and people can argue whether that's man-made or not. That's going to be a great conversation, great debate. You get a guy like Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson had a great debate about that. But in regards to man-made ideologies, I don't really subscribe to them as much. And I don't like to identify myself with something that somebody else has conjured up with their own personal opinion. And so I think in regards to the red pill, is a very interesting space, a lot of interesting characters there. And I think the biggest challenge to me is the phrase that they use is that all we're doing is trying to share the truth about fill in the blank, right? And to me, it's very, very arrogant as a human being to say, I myself am the orator of the truth. I know the truth. My studies are the accurate studies. My ideas are the accurate ideas. I am the only individual who knows these things. And so to me, that ideology seems very cult-like, in my opinion. If you believe in them, they give you praise words like, oh, yo, you're red-pilled, you're an alpha male, right? And if you disagree with them, they give you the curse words, right? You are blue-pilled, you are a beta male, right?
Exactly what happens. He ain't lying. He's not lying about that. So, I don't know. This condescending power trip shit already sound kind of trash because he's not lying about that. That's what these guys do. I critique the doggone Mr. Cario show, and like all the other guys try to come talk to me. I'm like, man, please, get out of here, man, child. I know what this junk is. I'm not gonna talk about it, but it is what it is. He's right. They think they're absolutely correct, and they're actually absolutely wrong in most of that stuff. That's why they're already having problems with women so far past damn high school. But let's keep going.
Are you talking about like the comments section?
I'm just talking about just the idea of the philosophy, right?
All right, so right off the bat here, we have Hafeez, who's likening people who are within the red pill space to being in a cult, which I think is interesting because he identifies himself as a religious man, and religion has been tied to many cults, right? I know this from history.
See, this is the thing about this red pill stuff, too. You got to take what everybody else do and try to make it and turn it into something else. No, homie. Look, religion is one thing. Cult shit is different, okay? The doggone red pill shit is more close to cult shit because it's like completely, totally self-righteousness, pretty much. But we're going to see what's going on with it. This is why I don't mess with them dudes. And this is why I make it a channel for guys like me that, you know what I'm saying, hey, look, you ain't got to mess with this junk. And first off, it don't get you no women. The women that do get you, it do get you some women. Let me say that first. It do get you some, but the ones that get you, it's going to be garbage. But we're going to go ahead.
As somebody who believes in God myself. So it's really interesting to see him take that approach to him describing why he doesn't identify as RP, which is okay, right? There's a lot of different characters. It's a broad term. I understand.
So the people who subscribe to their worldview are red pill individuals, right? Their minds have been opened up to the truth, right? And the people who disagree with their ideas are considered blue pill, right? You have rejected the truth, i.e. the Matrix, right? The guy in the Matrix, he said, I want to go back in the machine. Even though I know it, I want to go back in the machine. So to me, that seems very cult-like in regards to the ideology. And so there's a lot of different reasons why I don't subscribe to it. But then you break down, what does that mean?
Yeah. So my question to you is like, what specifically do you disagree with?
Great question. So when people say things like, okay, we're not an ideology, we're a praxeology, right? You have to ask yourself, are you teaching any ideas? Like, is there any principles that your belief system is teaching? Because every human being's belief system teaches an ideas, right?
Did you know that in Texas, rifles can be carried in public without a license? Whereas in Florida, no open carrying.
And so for me, when I see that there are certain ideas and premises that are being taught, therefore you cannot simply say we are not an ideology. There's no ideals that represent the things that we believe. And so an example of what are some of the things I disagree with, I think I primarily disagree with a lot of times the descriptions of marriage and just how they analyze and describe marriage in today's world. I think I disagree with the analysis of male-female.
Listen, guys, I know you're sitting down like, oh my gosh, I'm really about to hear Hafeez talk again. Hopefully Hafeez has learned and kind of got some feedback from people when it comes to answering questions and being on point. And answering questions directly. Same thing I said in the last video, right? With the whole, you must have God in marriage. Well, what does that mean? We need direct points. The most difficult part of this for me too is going to have to be just knowing that he's long-winded and we're going to have to sit here and listen to him go on and go on. So I won't make it any more difficult.
I don't think the dude is long-winded. I think he's explaining his point. And instead of him, because if it was me, I would be using, I would have done it shorter, but they would not have liked it. It would have been no respect in it for nobody's red pill to have been like, no, these losers do this, or these losers do that. It would have been like that with me, directly. But he's trying to explain it in a nice way. But see, they don't want to, red pill guys want the shortcuts a lot too, even in this. So let's go ahead and watch this guy and see what's going on, because I haven't seen yet with this condescending stuff just yet.
Let's keep listening.
Nature. I think if you were to read a book like The Evolution of Desire by Dr. David Buss, he's a world-leading expert on human evolutionary psychology in regards to mating, and he's fantastic. Buss School of Psychology is amazing, and you actually read a person who's like a world-renowned expert on this topic, and you hear about all the nuance. And I love Dr. Buss because Dr. Buss understands the nuance and the cross-cultural studies.
What do you agree? What do you disagree with, Hafeez?
And you were to read some of the more red pill, doctrinal books, you'll be like, wow, like it's literally like reading Dr. Seuss and reading something like Hamlet.
Now, see, he's making a point here between two forms of literature. Okay, I can see that the guy that's doing the show Zed here is going to be impatient about this, and this is some of the reason why some people can't get why red pill is so doggone bad. They're not patient enough to listen to the information. So he's telling them he's going outside of just listening to red pill people like what I do. He's not just looking at them or looking at their doctrine. He's looking at that doctrine. He's looking at how their doctrine's been studied by the science community and how women view it too. So he's looking at it from everybody's point, from a bunch of points of view. But everybody's not gonna do that.
It's like night and day difference. And so to me, I think I acknowledge that a lot of their ideas are truthful, like any ideology, right? Or whatever the heck word they're using nowadays to convince people that's not an ideology. Yes, those things there's truthfulness in it, but there's a whole lot of lies and a whole lot of information that is not statistically accurate. And that's why I've always recommended people to read books like The Evolution of Desire by Dr. David Buss, and then simply read whatever red.
Now, if anybody didn't understand, there's the answer right there. There's the answer. Because I'm pretty sure this guy that's doing the doggone show, Zed, is about to say something else. I'm almost betting on it. Because when you watch these red pill people, they cannot take anybody saying something against what they're saying, even if you're saying half of it's true. But he disagrees with the some of it is right, and then this other part is wrong, and you refuse to fix this part. And I disagree with that too.
Literature that you
What's
want,
inaccurate?
And juxtapose those two
What's
ideas.
inaccurate? Let's
He did it. I was looking at his face. I was looking at his doggone face, and he did exactly what I just said he was gonna do. I'm finna see what this dude finna say.
Extremely astonished at this.
Well, it's just because everything you're saying is very broad.
Yeah.
So you even said like their teachings on marriage.
There you go, Pearl.
Like from my understanding of red pill is that they're not anti-marriage or pro-marriage. They're anti-marriage as it is today and the way the laws are today. And do you disagree with that?
So I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay.
And I'm excited because I'm really excited about the way you're processing this.
Yeah.
So let's go into marriage. So here's a fundamental challenge. Okay?
Do you disagree with that?
red
Yes or
pill
no?
is very broad.
Okay.
Very broad, right?
Really? I don't think so, actually.
You don't think so?
No.
So do you think a person like Alpha Male Strategies teaches the same exact ideas as Coach Greg Adams?
I know more about Alpha Male Strategies than Coach Greg Adams.
The answer is no. You see, all these people got different strategies for doing different stuff, and that's what he's trying to tell this woman. She's lumping them all together, which is what women do. See, guys like this Zed guy think that this Pearly Things lady is on his side. She's not. The only reason you're going to get a bunch of women trying to correlate to the red pill thing, because they're never going to date them guys. They're going to see them as losers. I'm telling you, they're going to do it. It's going to happen. I'm just telling you, that's what it is. but you're gonna get a bunch of channels of women because there's a lot of money in that. There's a lot of money in this. I'm starting to see these red pill guys. That junk is, it's almost like how women watch certain talk shows and stuff like that, and they want to hear certain stuff be said, certain things be said. So, and they tune in. So I mean, like, women are big on money. You're gonna see a lot more women doing this. Watch.
Okay. I haven't watched a lot of Coach Greg. Okay. AMS, he's like
don't know the difference.
The sleep.
She don't even know the difference between them. I know this much. You got Decario, he's saying one thing, and then you got Alpha Male Strategy saying one thing, and both of these guys do red pill jump, and they got conflict with each other. See that? It's not even the same thing. So she don't get that.
Yeah, but he's evolved. That's old school AMS.
I don't know.
Sleazeball game.
The guy tells me he watches AMS. I'm like, I gotta run.
Yeah, but
you better run.
Point, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, I gotta run.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of there's individuals like Steph Cole. I'm not sure if Steph.
By the way, man, shout out to AMS real quick. He is the man who introduced me just to, self-improvement, betting yourself, female nature. I was the first guy I listened to coming into this game. So all respect, all love till the end. God bless AMS.
And AMS is a Bama boy like me. So yeah, he down. I mean, I haven't really got to because he don't say nothing really bad in his shows or anything that I think will hurt guys in the long run. Now, as far as AMS, if you're gonna do red, because AMS don't really just do red pill. He kind of got a, I don't know what you want to call it there, spectrum. So he's one of the better guys to watch on that. I can give him that because he has evolved a lot through things, and he tell you in the shows women involved, and that's one thing that guys need to start getting to, especially the red pill guys. They gotta have to start understanding women's evolution.
Right. Wish him nothing but blessings. Man, it changed my life. I took the knowledge and I did with it what I wanted, how I wanted to apply it to my life in a positive way. Let's keep watching.
Cole still called himself Red Pill, but you have the Steph Cole guys.
Right.
A lot different than Coach Red Pill.
Okay.
A lot different.
Okay.
So what I'm articulating is that within the red pill umbrella, there's a diversity of individuals.
Yeah.
There's far right, there's guys who are a little bit more balanced. So what usually happens when we're having this conversation, which requires so much nuance, and I'm glad we're able to dive into it, is that when you're describing the red pill, what people want to do is one of two things. You either want to steel man them or you want to straw man them. Mm-hmm. The argument that you're probably feeling like, and some people may feel like, is I straw man them, right? You pick the worst ideas of the red pill, the worst content creators, and then you define the red pill as that. But then on the flip side is a steel man, where you find some of their best, brightest ideas, ignore all the negativity, nonsense ideas, and define that as red pill.
No, I mean, to me, it's like there's a base set of ideas, and people have different ideas of what to do with it.
Who defines the base set of ideas?
I would say that I think that's mostly who defines the base. I would say Rollo Tomasi. I think he seems to be like leading that like today, but before it seems like it was Patrice O'Neal possibly.
So you think Patrice O'Neal was?
No, I think a lot of like, it seems like a lot of ideas derived from him, but it seems like it goes around Rollo Tomasi. That's what it seems like.
So the interesting part of the conversation,
and why just Pearly Things there brought up Rollo Tomasi is because a lot of people get introduced into this space from kind of newer content creators, but don't understand there've been people who've been doing this for years and over a decade, right? And I think Rollo Tomasi has been just speaking on this topic. If you haven't read The Rational Male, I'd advise you to go read that book. He's been in this space for is it about 20 years or over 20 years, somewhere around there. Don't quote me exactly, but he's definitely a pioneer. For sure. If he wasn't in the beginning, he definitely was around that time.
back to the red pill conversation,
Yeah.
because I know you want to talk about this, is that there is no single source. There's no doctrinal source. There's a lot of individuals who've written their books and shared their ideas as red pill, and depending on what school of thought you're in, a lot of individuals will say, well, that's not red pill for me. He's not red pill for me. Maybe in your world, he's red pill for you. And some people, red pill for them might be Coach Greg Adams. People red pill for them might be Fresh and Fit. People red pill for them might be AMS. People red pill for them might be Coach Red Pill. People red pill for them might
But
be...
they all seem to say the same ideas.
Well, yes,
yeah.
it's
like, so I'm just like, if we're gonna say they're different, like what is different?
okay.
Come on.
In
Come on.
See, okay, and this is the reason why he's doing that, because he's explaining it. Because if you, okay, I'm telling you what, if you say they're all the same, you're gonna wind up having to demonize them, because they got some ideas that's just trash. So the only way to really talk about them in any positive way is to try to pick out the good stuff and let the negative shit go, like he just said. He's trying to be positive about it, but you want to force this guy into talking about these people in a negative way, and I wouldn't have no problem with that. He's trying to be positive about it, but she's not allowing that.
Each individual,
you're killing
I
us,
can't get
bro.
into the nuances of each individual. So there are some individuals who are, when it comes to marriage, are explicitly marriage. I think the whole institution of marriage in the Western world is done. It's over. It doesn't work. It's a failed system. X, Y,
I agree.
X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's why
Yeah.
why red pill
Yeah.
aligns to you, because
Yeah.
those emotional sentiments rock with you. So then there's
Not
other
emotional. It's because of the way it is legally.
100%.
Yeah.
So those legal sentiments
Yeah.
rock with you,
Yeah.
and we can get into
Okay.
how does those things fleshed out. But then on the flip side, which you have other individuals who say, well, in actuality, well, I do believe that in the sanctity and the beauty of marriage, and if you're going to do marriage outside of the state, I'm all for it, right? So yeah, some people is like, even with or without the state, institution is broken, women are broken, society is broken, it doesn't even matter. Then some people are like, well, outside of the state,
Yeah.
I support it, I agree with
Well,
it.
it
So there's
seems like
nuance in that.
their prescriptions are different, but their description is the same.
Yeah, but-
typically. So like they'll say these are the flaws in women, these are the flaws in marriage, but like they have different prescriptions. So some people will still go through with it with a prenup, and other people will say screw it all together.
Yeah. And so
Wow. Very well said. Some good coffee there from Pearl.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel
It
better.
was good. He was
Hafeez
able to get
could
that point across
really-
to her. It was good. He was able to get that point across to her, because she was misunderstanding that in the first place. So while I'm pretty sure this dude's finna say something negative, because I don't think he understands what's going on, she needed that explanation, because she was not of an understanding that what she came to, that why this is described. See, and that's the problem with it. Some of the guys don't handle the problem the same way, but the problem is that the description of red pill is bad. The description of red pill is going to be bad. No matter that all of them don't handle things in bad ways, because it's got some complaints and things that are just not manly. Some of the complaints they make are not manly. I mean, so it's always gonna wind up being a bad description of the person, even if they don't handle those things in bad ways. I'll talk about that more on my channel. Y'all hit subscribe and like.
Take some pointers here and just being direct. You know, she's like, Hafeez would take like 5 minutes to talk, and then Pearl just comes over like, da 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 da, and that's it. You know what I mean? Speaking facts.
So prescribing a behavior is telling people what to do. And telling people what to do also creates a form of an ideology. So if I say I have 10 rules that I believe men should follow, and then say I have no ideology, that doesn't make any sense. So to me, an ideology isn't a bad thing. I have an ideology. You have an ideology. Every human has an ideology. So my biggest argument is not that the ideology is bad, but don't lie and say that you don't have an ideology when we all have an ideology.
Okay, now his argument is different from mine. My argument is that the ideology is bad. Not all of it, but the majority of it, to the point enough to where it's like, hey, okay, you gotta like pull this piece out. This right here, but the rest of this junk got to go. if somebody was to ask me for examples, one of them is that marriage thing they was talking about. Because I've heard the complaint about the marriage and the marriage laws and you're going to get raped. But see, the thing is, like, I can understand if I was hearing that from a bunch of guys who were millionaires. And these are everyday dudes who go to work. I've been through a divorce. There was no ass raping. I've seen other guys going through divorces. There's no ass raping. Because you don't have anything for them to take. Yet, this is still a complaint. So, that's one of the things. The complaint about women having jobs and that somehow making them want a higher level of God, like that's something new. They've always wanted that. It's just now just putting on. They're just saying it more because now they don't have to be quiet about it because they already got a job. So it doesn't matter if they offend the guy. See, it's like a lot of stuff, man. Y'all, let me know in the comments what y'all thinking. We're gonna keep going.
So in regards to the original question about the red pill, I believe a lot of what they say is half truths. And like I said, for example, if you really analyze human and male nature, female nature, there's a lot of really dark and disturbing things about female nature. When you can get to the rawness of it, right?
Yeah.
And if you were an individual and you were simply communicating those raw, dark truths about what was true, it could be very simple to realize that, wow, man, these are really, really bad things.
I'll give you an example. Felons have 30% more children than non-felons.
I love it.
Yeah.
So so you just threw out a number.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. You have nothing to back it up. So another example is, I'm sorry, we got to stop there. What happens in this community, what happens with the people who have the school of thought, they'll throw out numbers. Where did that stat come from?
Where did it come from?
Where did it come from?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but it's easy to Google.
I know
like
it's
if you,
easy. I know
like if
it's
you
easy.
Google it, it's like at the top of Google.
It's easy to Google, right?
Yeah.
But the reality of the matter is, when people are sharing their statistics and numbers, a lot of times they don't know. They can't even tell you the primary source.
You're so fat. Brendan, you're not fat. It's the shirt. Look at Nate. He's
Bingo.
So,
right, because it's like off the top of your head, you're not going to know, like,
100%.
right
But
then.
why should I believe you? Why should I believe you?
Yeah, okay, but if I'm saying if I got you the stat, I could look it up now.
I know
but,
you could look.
Yeah.
You could take your time. You could pause the episode.
Yeah,
You can look it up. But my point is that a lot of times in this community,
Okay, so you can't believe a stat because that person can't pull it up or cite their source, which I think, fair point. You should cite your sources. But a lot of this information isn't hard to find. Come on, we live in an information age. You don't.
Okay, I'm gonna see what the Hafeez guy is going with this because he talks a little bit different than some other people. Okay. Sometimes when people are talking, they're expressing the point, and I understand that's why you said earlier about him being long-winded. But he's not long-winded. It's just that he expresses a bunch of points first to prove whatever he's going to say next. So he's going through this thing because he asked the lady, he told her, I'm going to stop right there. And for some reason, he's going off onto the other tangent. So I'm going to see what he's going to say about that.
Don't have to do too much to find out at what rate women are initiating divorces, at what rate marriages are failing. It's really not that hard. Let's keep listening.
they'll throw statistics and data at you. You're not privy to statistics and data.
Yeah.
Some of it is true, some of it is false, right? And I can go into some of the truths and false as well. And so because you're not able to simply look things up, you're in a conversation where you're like, okay, I'm gonna give this person the benefit of the doubt. But if the data is simply skewed by sheer numbers, it can totally dispel whether this person's communicating the truth or not.
Yeah, but it's easy to just like Google it.
I know, but what I'm saying is, listen carefully. If you and I are having a podcast conversation and you have 15 data points that justify your worldview, but you don't know the source, you know the primary, secondary source. We could stop this episode, and every time you pull up numbers, we could look at it. You can look them up. You can pull them up. You can show it to me. But that's going to take too long. So usually in conversations like this, you're not able to do so.
So what are you saying? I don't get what the point of the Hafeez is trying to make here.
Therefore, what you're forced to do.
You gotta let the man finish talking, guy. You gotta let the man finish talking. See, when I'm doing my things, I let the person finish talking, then say something.
these conversations
Yeah.
is whenever someone gives you a statistic, the individual's called to believe it. And I've seen that happen myself because I'm a data person as well. You've consumed my content, so you know some of it. I'm a data person myself. So when I share data, there's times where I'm like, oh, well, that number was wrong. But because we're in the middle of a conversation, people simply believe me.
Yeah.
And so to me,
Which is fine, then you just update it.
I know,
Yeah.
but in the midst of the conversation, when we're having these conversations and when we're sharing all these data,
Yeah.
a lot of people will spew data and numbers
I
that they don't
understand.
even,
Sometimes,
it could be truly false.
I understand sometimes misinformation happens.
100%.
Yeah,
and
I
it's not
understand.
perfect. I'm not saying you're trying to deceive me,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is that there has to be a level of accountability when we're saying this is the truth. So for one of the things that I've been improving on in regards to my speech is that if I share a number, if I really don't know the primary source or I'm not willing to pull it up immediately, right, I'll say, well, you know what, I think this is the number. Or I'm not sure this is a number. But what happens is when you say 110%, this is true. The divorce rate in America is 50%. It is true. And then you share these explicit narratives, and then when you simply analyze them and break them down, you realize that's not the case.
Yeah, but then you switch it. But I don't think it's wrong to just say a number.
There's nothing wrong.
And then I look it up and it's right. Like I've looked that up before.
But that's not what I think you're getting lost. You're getting lost in the specific point. I'm talking about the meta point. The meta point is that when people are communicating,
You're getting lost, Pearl. You better catch up to Hafeez. Oh, man.
This coffee smells like shit.
statistics. The audience is totally dependent upon the orator, and if that person says, I am the bearer of the truth, a lot of times in the midst of a conversation, a lot of people communicate numbers that may or may not be true.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing is that when a lot of these individuals are communicating numbers, I'm the kind of person where I'm like, hey, let's stop, let's analyze them, and let's see whether they're true or not.
Is there a common talking point that isn't true that you're thinking of?
I think one of the biggest conversations that is not discussed is how marriage has changed from the 90s till today.
Okay, go on.
If you look up the divorce rates have been decreasing from the 1990s until today. There's a lot of different studies and a lot of different analyzation.
Go on.
A lot of different. So, are you listening or are you trying to talk?
I'm listening.
I'm curious.
I'm listening.
Because you kind of seem like you're waiting for me to stop talking so you can say something.
No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yo, this is awkward as.
So, numbers. A lot of the divorce numbers.
Yo, I was not expecting that. What the hell? This is comedy, yo. This is comedy. This is hilarious.
But I don't see nothing funny.
Over here, Hafeez is already getting triggered. Where are we at? 17 minutes. I'm not going to be able to do this. Thing's 2 hours plus. Oh my gosh. That was terrible. All right, trying to check her. Get that man some tea.
No, I'll have a tea, actually.
I don't think he's trying to check her. The thing is, like, have you ever heard this woman talk? And I have. She sounds like she's very statistical and everything else. It's probably one of the reasons why he went to this show. And then when you go there and you start talking statistics, she wants to stay basic. It's probably upsetting him. But he's handling pretty well, because to me, she should be understanding everything from what I've been hearing her say before. But we'll see what's going on.
That are communicated today, they're not all. Those are a lot of previous numbers. And when you're factoring into the trends that are leading to the lowering of divorce rates, as well as all the different cross-cultural analysis of divorces, there's a lot that can be learned about divorces. So in regards to the Western world and a lot of the divorces having issues, they're 100% right. We have to communicate. Well, here's the reality. The divorce rate has been going down. And why has the divorce rate been going down? And the reason why the divorce rate is going down is because we've learned a lot of different things about marriage, about divorce, about why did the divorce rate skyrocket initially in 1970s to begin with. And so there's a lot of, when you hear a number, statistics are great under the broad scope of a conversation. But when you're really trying to dive deeper into what's going on in today's society, statistics tell you a story, right? So once you understand the story behind the number, then you can understand why the number is practical. So in my question is, so one of the biggest things that we've worked on is that if we're going to give a number, we want to also tell the story behind the number and how is that beneficial to improving the lives of people today. And so to me, that's one of my different points of view, is that if you're simply holding on to any worldview and the worldview is communicating certain things that may or not be true or may not be painting the whole picture, is this for the purpose of benefiting society or is it for the purpose of perpetuating a narrative?
Wouldn't you say that the divorce rate's going down because people aren't getting married as much?
So think about it like this. Let's talk about divorce rate is by percentage. So let's do some numbers, because you seem like a very analytical girl, logical girl. Let's talk about some numbers. So if the system of marriage is broken, right, and 1,000 people get married.
Oh, I see. The rate would still be. I see.
Okay.
I see.
So let's do it for the people, right? Remember, the red pill argument is the system is broken. So that means anyone who engages in this institution, whether or not you do it, it's broken. It's not going to work. It's going to lead to a 50% divorce rate. So if 1,000 people get married, therefore it should be 50% divorce rate. But then if 900 people get divorced, and 10 years later, instead of the 1,000 10 years ago, now 900 people get married, and that divorce rate is 40, not 50 where it was before. The question that must be asked is, these 100 people, why did that number change? If the system was broken, and therefore whether it's 1,000, 900, 800, 1,200, 1,100, it should be the same thing. But if the number went down, but then the divorce rate decreased by percentage, why did it go down? Who was not getting married? And how would it contribute to the increase of divorce rates in the past? And that's why I said the numbers will tell you a story. And if you don't know the full story, you don't know how the number is relevant to the lives of everyday people.
What's the story that the numbers are telling, Hafeez? Right, because you lost everybody in that whole. He lost me.
Okay.
I'm following here.
Well, not very, very well. Okay, so let me tell y'all what the story that number's telling. Okay, this is what he's saying, and I'm gonna make it real basic then, so nobody gets lost. You're just saying a 50% rate, but your numbers are fluctuating up and down. Even when you got less people getting married, this number is still declining. So with the number declining, even with lesser marriages, more of them are still making it. So you're saying, but if anybody, but that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. There should be definitely 50% divorce rate, because you said the system is broke. So obviously it's not broke. If anybody can, that's the story that's telling you. The system really ain't broke. The people that are trying to do it might got issues together, the men and the women, but the system itself ain't broke. It can be dealt with and it can be worked around with. It was what it's basically the story that he's saying that is telling. What you're saying can't be done, it can be done. That is what is being said. And see, that's what I'm saying. Instead of him trying to be nice about it, he need to call it out and say it's red pill bullshit. That's pretty much what it is. That 50% divorce rate shit is red pill bullshit. If you as a grown ass man find the right woman and get married, you're probably gonna have a good marriage. The 50% divorce rate is probably based on who you pick, all other kind of junk too. So, but we'll talk about all that later.
And that's what I'm passionate about. I want to keep on saying it. A lot of the red pill arguments are true. A lot of them are true, mixed with a whole lot of lies. And we have to be honest. There is an ideological bent, and there is a for-profit bent for the ideologies. But if we're simply gonna stop there and not do a deep dive in analyzing the study, if we don't sit down and analyze every single statistic number and juxtapose it with the leading experts in the world who are also studying these things, we don't have a full, complete message to share to men and women for the benefit of society. Because to me,
see, like I said, I went outside just watching YouTube and started studying what psychiatrists are looking at about this. What these people are looking at about this. Because you got to have a world view. Not just the view of the red pill community. That's what they don't understand, that the red pill community is not just your view that matters. The rest of the world view matters also. That is why they have some of the problem with women that they have. because it's not just their view that matters. Her view matters too. The view of the rest of the world is going to matter. So,
if we're genuinely saying that the red pill message is the truth, if it is indeed the truth or an attempt to convey the truth should only make society better. It should only make men better. It should only make women better. It should only create a better world for us.
Not necessarily true. In fact, why would he think that just because the data is true, people are going to listen to it and decide to use that truth to positively impact their life? Whether the truth makes...
Well, see, he thinks that because if you're not an idiot, that's what you do. You see, that right there was just something silly to even say. That's why he thinks that. It basically goes down to, if you know better, you should do better. I'm going to go ahead and go on with this one, because this guy right here, yeah.
A man a better person or a woman a better person, whether somebody stumbles on the RP and says, okay, I'm going to use this information, these facts, it's data, right? That's essentially what most of us discuss. Whether that information positively impacts an individual, a man or a woman, 100% depends on that man and that woman. In fact, I'll go as far as to say most people can't really handle the truth and will cower away from the truth, choose to live in delusion instead of have that truth positively impact their life. Truth doesn't necessarily bring...
Okay, but this don't have nothing to do with what the dude was saying. Just because people won't do it don't mean that they shouldn't be doing it. I get it. You can tell people the truth. Hey, you're doing it now. We talking about truth stuff now. People don't want to hear that. I'm telling the truth about a lot of junk right now, and people don't want to hear that. It's somebody getting mad right now because I done told the truth like several times, and but they're gonna say it's my truth. But that's why it's worldviews. But if a person don't take information that is going to be beneficial to them and use it, that person is probably not very intelligent. So I'm not advocating for those kind of people. I'm gonna stick with, it's the statistic out there that says this, and if you find a statistic and you don't use it for yourself, well, that's you.
Positivity for those who choose to ignore it or not apply it in a positive way to their lives. Right. Let's keep watching.
And so to me, when I see an ideology, when I see a praxicology, whatever the heck they're calling it nowadays, when I see a worldview,
praxeology,
and I'm looking at it, I'm analyzing it, and I'm understanding it, and I'm seeing all people who are leaders in it, and I'm seeing the inconsistencies in what they say and what they do. I'm saying that there's a deeper conversation with the numbers, and there's a deeper conversation with this type of information that is not being discussed. I'm glad we're doing it right now.
To me, it's like if it goes from 50% to 40%, who cares? That's right.
Don't do that.
Let me
Go ahead.
Because to me, people aren't getting together. They looked at the getting married rate is lower than it's ever been. So it's like to me, it's just like men are getting a bad deal today, and they're signing a contract where women are paid to leave and take the kids. And to me, that's just, and especially in the UK. Like I live in London. Like girls, like your child support.
Now see what she's doing is she's spewing some of this red pill stuff to make her some money. He just got done talking about that earlier when he said there's monetary gain in this. He said it himself, and she's doing it now. That's exactly what she's doing, because if she understands math and she understands analytics, like she just said, he already explained this away. There's no way you even talk about it no more. If that junk changes to 40% with a decline in marriage, she just said it again, there's not even as many marriages, and there's not even as many marriages, and there's still a decline in the doggone numbers, okay? But you're saying it's 50% regardless, because the system is broken. So if you got 100 people that got married, it shouldn't be 90%, 90 of them that don't get divorced. It should be 50%. It should be 50. Because that's what you were saying. It should not change. If the system is broke, it should not change. That variable should not change. If the system is broke, it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 people. If 1,000 people get married, 500 should get divorced. If 100 people get married, 50 should get divorced. If those numbers skew any other way, then you don't have the liberty of saying that you got a broken system because somehow that's not working. Because you're not getting 50% the same way you were saying before. Okay? Your system isn't broken. You might got some variables in it that's messed up. Or some people that don't know how to handle the variables. That's what I think is really going on with this red pill stuff. I think these guys don't know how to handle women. And they try to use these little statistics to cover that up. But no, he's right about it though. The numbers should not ever change. And they are changing. They are changing. If you having a decline, even with lesser marriages, you still got a decline. It's not 50-50. It's not 50-50 like what you're saying. So the system is broken. It's just this right here. Then what? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe we got to come up with another reason now. You do got to come up with another reason. Let me go ahead and let these people go.
It's literally dependent on how much you have kids. So you're literally paid to take the kids away.
Okay.
So like to me, it's just like a bad deal.
That's facts, right? Those little changes in the divorce rate, though, may be good for some people because let's say 10% of people decided to work through their marriage. That's cool. Does that change the reality that family court and the contract that you sign when you get married is set up for you to fail as a man, to get the raw end of the deal? Does not change the system that is set up against men.
Okay, see, here's the deal. The system ain't set up against you. See, and here's the problem that they're having. That's what I'm saying. This is whiny baby shit. Okay? You as a grown man, knowing those rules, decide to go into this system. Okay? Now, the person that you take in there with you better be worthy of what you're going to do. It's just that simple. Okay? You already know what's going to happen if you come out the other end the wrong way. Now, these guys, all their logic is going to go to is saying that women are going to do this because they're going to try to steal from you. And here's the whole deal. The red pill thing is going to have you forever looking over your shoulder for women, with a woman. Forever. Being afraid, pretty much. That's what it is. Let this guy go so we can get on out of this video and see. I want to see what Hafeez got to say.
And I agree.
Even if you sign a contract and it's a 40% versus 50%, that's still not great.
You first and foremost, let's not be deceptive, right?
Okay.
You cannot.
I'm not being deceptive.
If you understand statistics, you cannot say a 10% decrease in the likelihood of something happening isn't a big deal. If there was a drug or if there was a disease, and we say, you know what, the disease has a 50%. Let me finish. You told me not to cut you off. I'm not gonna cut you off.
Okay.
So I understand what you're trying to do right now. I was under the impression of this was to be a certain kind of conversation, but I'm getting what you're doing right now. So people,
I thought, and I said that shit. I said it before we even got here, and that dude said it. And he's right. He's right. Now you see, they got this Z guy on the side right here, you know. But all that's happening right now is she's gonna try to appeal to red pill guys so she can get more viewers. That's it. It's not to help them. That's why this guy's getting upset. That's why he's getting upset. This ain't to help men. It's not, none of the stuff she's saying is to try to do any stuff she's saying is for. She's being coy, and she understands the math of what he's saying, and she's still going around it. I want to see what he's got to say.
Want to make the conversation.
Oh, it's getting awkward again. What's up with Hafeez, man? Chill, bro. Relax.
The way you want to make this conversation is no problem. So like I was saying,
The way I want to make the conversation.
like I was saying, if there was a disease and a disease had a 50% fatality rate, and all of a sudden, 10 years later, even if the amount of people with the disease went down by 2%, 3%, 4%, whatever number you want to give, but then all of a sudden that disease has a 40% fatality rate. The fatality rate went down 10%. Well, we ask ourselves, yo, how did that happen? No one says, 50%, 40%, no big deal, so everything's the same thing. No, you're going to be...
People might ask a question, but 40% is still a tragedy.
like, wow, it's still high.
I don't think Zed understands sheer numbers here. Okay. That 10% that we're talking about, this is across millions of people. This is a lot. I'm just saying. See, red pill, that's their problem. They want to keep crying. They want to be able to cry. No.
Than we would like it to be, but it's a lot better than the way it was before. So what can we learn from that? What can we improve on that? How can we make that better? And so to me, going back to the ideology, my
Change the
thing is,
contract.
I'm all about how can we make the world a better place, and simply saying that
Fix the court systems.
50%, 40%, that there's no big difference. It's deceitful. I mean, deceitful. It is not communicating what's really going on. And so I think it's really cool. And it's I kind of now a lot of things are making more sense. But if we're gonna have a real conversation about men and women in today's society and marriage in today's society, we have to get into specific details every single point of the conversation and understand the nuance to each issue. So if you want to get into men getting a bad deal in marriage, we can talk about that specific issue. But I think sometimes it's very easy to be able to stay in our echo chambers, in our silos, and share these ideas without having them flesh out that somebody can give us some pushback.
But I just think like you're missing the point. Like the point is that the laws don't favor men today. Like the point is it 50% or 40%? That's not the point. The point is that like right now it's a contract that women are paid to leave.
Yes.
And so if that's the way the laws are set.
No. It's not a contract that women are paid to leave. Here's the deal. If you fuck up and you get a chick that's going to do that on you, that's what you're going to get. Think about it, guys. Anybody that's watching this, okay? If that's the case, right? Then why hasn't that just been the thing the whole time? How come this is not happening to some guys? Or how come it's not happening to every guy? How come every guy that gets married, his wife isn't taking being paid to leave? Why? Why is that? Because this shit doesn't work the same way. It don't work the way they're saying. They're trying to look at it from a negative point of view on purpose. What Red Pill does is they take and they misconstrue junk. They take the worst of it and they try to make it even worse so they can say one thing. But this junk don't happen to everybody. People have happy marriages. So if it was paid to leave, why didn't some people get paid to leave? Some women died, they still broke, and they probably could have got paid and left. They didn't do it. So that goes to show you that this idea that women is gonna steal from you is not true. It's false. Because they're saying 50% also, so that's half and half. So some of the women didn't do that shit. But they won't acknowledge that. But that's Red Pill for you.
Set up, I understand why men are walking away.
Hold him to that fire, Pearl. Make that man drink coffee, Pearl.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Oh, man.
Like I understand why they wouldn't push marriage.
So here's the deal. So let's play your game. I love to play your game.
I'm not trying to like.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm playing. I'm having fun.
Okay.
Don't wait till you're a content creator. We're having fun. Fun. Come on. Are we good?
Yeah. We're
having fun. I'm just game is the word.
Okay.
We're having fun. Guys, we're having fun. This is content.
This is not content, bro. This is real life, dog. What are you talking about? Relax. Chick, take it easy.
Actually, it's not, because this chick is just playing. She just paying for subscribers and likers right now too. That's all she doing. She want to pick up the Red Pill community, and she's gonna keep saying this stuff, and this is gonna be perpetual shit for the rest of their life. But they will never. Now, if she was to cover like, hey, if she was sitting around, if she gets a hold of some Red Pill guys and say, hey, well, what about the girls that don't leave their marriage? I want to know what would be said. I really want to know what we said about that, but we're going to see what's going on.
Oh, this is life or death for the average man out here. It's not a game, but this is hilarious. This is funny. I'm oddly more entertained than I thought this interview would be. No shade to Pearl, but you know, this is more entertaining than it is anything else. I can't believe what I'm watching right now.
I recently joined forces with the Daily Wire.
We have people here. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
Don't take anything personal.
Okay, yeah.
Some of the peppers
Have some tea. Do we got some? Get some tea. Can we get some tea up there?
might be too spicy. We're just having
No,
fun.
I know. Go
We're having
ahead.
fun.
Go ahead.
Cool. So let's play your game.
Okay.
Let's say the system is all the way effed up.
Yeah.
Men are getting screwed left and right. What do we do now?
I think you change the laws. Like, honestly, I'd like to run for an office someday. I'd like to actually try to change the laws.
I love what you just said.
Yeah.
I love what you just said. My question to you, you're very smart. When we said we should change the laws,
Yeah.
how many people are getting into law? How many people are doing content to be able to change the laws, or versus how many people are doing content simply complaining about the laws? In your personal opinion, all feelings, no facts. Shout out to Andrew Schultz.
What percent of people are actually trying to change the laws?
Versus people complaining about the laws. All feelings, no facts. No, there's no
All
analytics.
feelings-
There's
Yeah,
no logical
I
data
know,
for this.
I know. I don't know. I've met a lot of men's rights activists. They actually have a really. Have you ever talked to that community at all?
Yeah, of course. I've seen the Red Pill
Like-
documentary. I'm
No,
familiar
no,
with
not even that. Like, they have whole groups. I don't know. Like, that's my.
You couldn't take. You're a smart woman. You have no educated guess in the world.
I don't think you're gonna like my answer.
It's not-
That's-
it's
no,
not- it's
no,
feelings,
I
no
know.
facts.
I said I feel
Feelings.
like
Feelings, no facts. This man is pissed as hell talking about feelings, no facts.
there really aren't that many content creators in the red pill space. Like, I think it's a generally small space on YouTube. So if I had to guess, there's probably more lawyers trying to change the laws,
Okay.
or
So
like lawyers that like defend men and that sort of thing.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. There's more lawyers.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is, let's say the laws are broken. I'm about solutions.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if you truly believe, if you're like, man, the system is broken, then the system got broken because somebody broke it. So you're saying that before the system was working. Is that safe to say? Was the system working before?
It was working a whole lot better than it is now.
Before, yeah, but I'd say before no fault divorce, it was more fair.
Okay.
It was more fair.
So
yeah.
so the system. So in what?
And birth
what can-
control. I think birth control.
So
is
so
like
was
the root of all
was
evil.
it was it working? Was the system working?
Yes, it was more fair before, I would say.
That's the wrong question. Was the system more efficient?
Okay, so she said it was.
I'm gonna go ahead and solve this problem for everybody right now. If they don't have nerve to watch this long, it's not about the system being more efficient. You had women that weren't doing like they would do, like a lot of them do now. Okay, and you had guys choosing a lot better because people just weren't just taking whatever. Okay, you gotta look at hey. This jump been going on for years, hundreds and thousands of years. Hundreds and thousands, but thousands of years here, or hundreds of however many years this been going on with this, okay? Women got jobs and stuff now. Some of them don't prioritize family as much as that, but if you find somebody that prioritizes family, you probably will have a successful marriage. Check out my video, the Bachelor BuzzFeed, about the two types of women and how to spot them. That talks about that in there.
Was working before
I said it was more fair.
Was it working? If it's broken now, it must have been working before.
Yeah, it would.
Or
Seem,
was it always
would,
broken?
It would seem like that. Yes.
I'm asking you the direct question. Was it broken? If you're telling me right now it's broken, those are your words. You said the system is broken right now. So therefore, if the toy was broken today, does that mean the toy was?
It's more efficient. It's more efficient. And, well, it was more efficient is what I mean. And the reason why it's not as efficient today is because with female empowerment, no-fault divorce, and the increase in women's rights, we're still basing what we do in court systems on women who didn't work, who couldn't take care of themselves. No man should have to pay alimony to a woman for the rest of their life. Nobody should have to do that to another individual. But you still have situations where that happens. It's not as efficient now because the circumstances have changed. Society has changed, but the laws haven't changed with it. Let's keep going.
I can tell you right now, through a lot of my experiences, this dude is absolutely wrong. I've seen a lot of divorces, especially being in the military, bro. And like I said, No. It's different situation. Like I said, if you ain't got nothing for them to take, you ain't got no problem worried about that. I don't understand how. Like I say, if there's a big community of rich guys complaining about this, it might be an issue. But the guy that crying about it, I was just like, what you talking about? Because if you really been out here looking at this junk and you really see it, then okay.
I broken yesterday.
Well, because what I'm thinking is there's like multiple points that I would pinpoint that started to like cause the decline of relationships in the West. So it's like you could say no fault divorce, but like then I would also argue that birth control contributed. I would argue like that the beginning of feminism, because I don't believe in like first wave, second wave, third wave. Like I think there's multiple things, but I would say before it was more fair. Does that make sense?
Okay, so we'll stay in your lane.
Yeah.
I love what you brought up because no fault divorce in 1970s changed everything.
Yeah.
I keep on forgetting the name of the birth control. Is it N void or N void in 1950s? Forgot the name of the first birth control in 1950s. It changed the whole entire game, right? But you primarily said the system today is broken to not benefit men.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And so my argument is that if you had a community of guys who are investing all their money, all their energy, we're getting into law. We're supporting these people. We're putting these people on our platform. If we're putting these champions who are going to go into Congress and going to go into the local places.
That's a good idea. You should do that.
No, let's stop. Let's stop right here.
Yeah.
You said it was a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Why aren't those people doing it? Because you're the one who told me they believe the system is broken. That's what you told me.
Yeah.
So therefore, if they believe it's broken, why are they not doing everything?
He don't think it's broken. He doesn't think it's broken. See, I can see the Zed guy. He's like, why you don't do it? I don't think the system broke. He doesn't think the system broke. He thinks if you be a grown man and get a woman that you're probably gonna have a decent life. The same thing I think. System really get broke. It's just that women start getting more options and they ain't gonna take losers. That's the problem. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
The power to fix the system.
I think from their point of view, it's like it's more powerful for men to walk away because like women need an incentive for the laws to change.
Okay, so
if men walk away from relationships, I mean, I could think of like 10 girls off the top of my head that are mad because they won't get a ring.
Okay.
You know.
So here is the reality.
Yeah.
What a great response. Because you got to think of what she said there, because I've said this plenty of times, it's not until women are suffering as a result of either men not wanting to get married anymore because they realize that signing that contract is a scam. I'm talking about signing legally.
And you go with some more red pill junk. They want women to suffer. Women got to be suffering. Women got to be suffering. Dude, this thing they're waiting for ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Women would rather be in rotations with guys who went on about their life and got some junk going on instead of crying about stuff like this. They'll just find a dude like that and they'll share him. That's the type of stuff I'm gonna be telling y'all about on my channel. The guys like that, the guys that want to be like that, because I'm telling you, these guys they just MGTOW, or I mean, like, I don't know, but it ain't gonna work. No, you the only no. You got some of them that, like, you might get a little bit more attention, but I don't know, because you ain't gonna cause that kind of suffering. They already share now. They'll just share more.
Getting married.
I'll put this steak on there.
But it's not until women feel that impact until laws will change, because we live in a gynocentric society that caters to women. So that was a great response to that question.
Apparently this guy doesn't know about Mary J. Blige's divorce. Apparently he don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? Mary J. Blige got divorced. She initiated her divorce too. And she wound up paying her husband $30,000 a month. She had to go back to work and junk. I mean, like, that don't sound like it's very gynocentric to me. It don't sound like that was in her favor. And she was the one asking to get out, and she had to pay, and she had to pay that for about 2 years. So they got it. Yeah, maybe they don't think about stuff like that. But like I say, Red pill ain't gonna go try to find out nothing but what they want to hear. That's the part of their problem.
Do you really believe? Do you like? I'm talking about solutions here.
Yeah.
So you're saying the better solution is for men to walk away from relationships. That's a better solution for society.
No, that's not my point of view. I said I think that's a lot of their point
But you
of
know
view.
red pill more than I do. You're the one that teaching me earlier.
I'm saying that's their point of view.
Who's there?
Who's there? I would say that's like the MGTOW group.
Okay, the MGTOW.
Yeah, the MGTOW.
So do you believe that's a good solution?
I believe. Do I believe that's a good solution? It could be. I don't know. I'm not claiming I have all the answers.
Of course you don't have all the answers. I'm just talking.
So I have a couple.
This
solutions.
guy,
So I have a couple
bro.
ideas.
Oh my gosh. We're just talking. Relax.
I'll tell you.
Yeah,
I'll tell you. The first idea I have, I'm going to start a wife school.
I love it.
Yeah, so we're going to turn.
Look at that smile on Pearl's face. Man, Pearl's awesome. You know, I'm going to brag real quick. I had her on my channel before I even knew that she was going to get this deep into RP content. It's good to see where she's at right now. I remember this was before I had, you know, the 100K plaque, and now she's at like 500K subscribers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because she's going to keep spewing that garbage. Hey, she's a shrewd businesswoman. Female Mr. Lucario. That's it. That's why I see it. But, yeah, no sense in knocking them. I mean, shoot, they getting their money, but the people that consume this junk ain't never going to get nowhere.
Just crazy. She was in her car with like her headphones, filming with her iPhone, and I was doing the same thing. You can go watch like the older videos and stuff, so it's good to see this. But I just want to say, shout out to Pearl for being positive, keeping the smile on her face. That's tough to do when you're dealing with the character like Hafeez. The composure Pearl is keeping right now is impressive.
304s into wives.
Let's stop.
So that's my first idea.
Can we stop right there? Or
Okay.
do you want to go through all the ideas?
You asked me. I'll tell you.
I want to talk about that one. Don't forget that one. I want to talk
Turn
to you about that.
Yeah,
Keep
I got you.
Keep on going.
I got you.
We're having fun, guys.
My second idea is I'd like to run for an office someday because I feel like in order the laws to change for men, women have to do it. So
love it.
if this was Pearl's world, I'd get rid of birth control. I'd ban it, but that'll never happen.
A lot of men won't like that. A lot of the men. That's my guy right here. He said, "Hell no." He said, "I'm gonna get rid of that, baby."
Change the laws first.
If this is Pearl's world, I'd ban birth control. I think that's the root of all evil. And I'd actually go further. I'd go further.
Go ahead.
But I'm kind of extreme.
Say it.
I don't think women should know.
Huh?
I don't think women should know.
Lord Jesus, keep on going. No women, you can't vote. No birth control. Keep it going.
No, because it's always freedom without responsibility. And
I
so,
love
like,
it.
the
Women
reason
should not
No,
vote.
but-
Pearly
but
said it
I'll
herself.
tell you why, though. I'll tell you why. Because it was freedom without responsibility. And before women, like I believe in consequences for your decisions. So the men know if they vote someone batshit crazy into power, you guys get drafted. We don't. Women decide elections. We're 55% of the population. I think if we want to vote, equally draft us. Y'all want equality. And personally, I don't want to get drafted, so I'll be in the kitchen.
She said, "Women, no voting." Let's go. I want more solutions.
See, now she just go ahead and she boosting up her little red pill audience, guys. She's on that.
No voting. See how he decided to capitalize on what on that point instead of actually expanding on what she said.
He's not the one capitalizing, homie. He is not the one capitalizing here. He's playing the game. He's like, okay, you want to get you some red pill people? Let me help you. And that's what's happening. He don't even see it. Red pill guys don't even see. See, they don't see how people see that. When you people look at the outside world of them, they don't even see it. He's not the one capitalizing, homie. She is.
Basically, what Pearl said is she thinks men should vote only because they can get drafted. All right, this is getting interesting. But I don't know how much longer I can hang in here, guys. It's getting to that point where I'm about to tap out.
Keep it going, bro.
Yeah. This is my world. That'll never happen though.
Keep it going. I love this.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
you want to start with wife school?
let's start with wife school. Man, we've gotten so deep in the conversation. I'm really excited. I hope you have a lot of time today because I really want to dive into everything that you want to go to.
Yeah.
Here is, I'm being honest with you, bro. Here is my only criticism of female content creators such as yourself.
Okay.
If I'm being 100% honest with you, I don't want to ever say anything behind your back, which I won't say to your face. I feel like you guys are pandering. I feel like you guys are pandering to a certain community of men who freaking it's Pornhub.
They're freaking gold. I already called that junk out before it even came out. See, and the dude done said it out of his mouth and told her in her face. You know what? I just gained a lot of respect for this dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna check out some more of his content and stuff. This Hafeez guy, because he's right. She's pandering. That's all she's doing. I'm 44-year-old man, dog. Women don't go along with shit like this, dog. No, women don't vote and all this. Women don't go along with that mess. She knows what she's saying. The stuff she goes along with in the red pill community, women do not deal with that. That's why the red pill guys can't date certain women. So, yeah, I'm finna see, because Zed look like he finna say something too, but he need to go and shut that shit down because the girl pandering.
OnlyFans, red pill female content creators are all that gets them going. That gets them excited, right? So
Hold on, man. Did Hafeez just compare Just Pearly Things to OnlyFans and P-Hub? Come on, dog.
So I personally...
Really? On the same OnlyFans?
No, I didn't say... No.
Hold on, let me get it.
This man came with the smoke.
Hold on.
Chill, brother.
No.
I'm lower.
Slightly got
Wow. Thank God.
you can't compete with them. I'm sorry. You can't compete with them.
Okay. So wait. So if the OnlyFans,
was number one.
That's a 10. Like on like 1 to
Yes, 10.
And then where did the OnlyFans?
Depending on what she's doing on OnlyFans, it can go for anywhere from 9.5 to 8.
Okay,
Depending
so
let's
do 8. So then where do we fall?
I would say the men love your content so much it'd probably be about 7.
A 7?
Yeah,
Okay.
about a 7.
Okay. So you said pandering, so you think I don't actually believe any of this?
No.
Because that's when I hear pandering, I look that up because people say that a lot.
Yeah.
And it basically means you just say things because you don't believe it and you just want that.
So if I want to clarify, I said if I said, because memory's a bad recollection at times. If I said you are pandering, I was wrong.
Okay.
I feel like at times content creators, I didn't say you.
Okay.
Content creators like those pander.
Well, there's only a couple in the red pill space that are women. I would say,
so it's not about red pill though.
Yeah.
It's not about red pill.
Okay.
So to me, let me give you an example.
Okay.
I genuinely believe that there is a lot of nuance to your ideas. I genuinely do not believe you share all your nuance online. I genuinely believe you're an extremely smart content creator. I genuinely believe you understand what gets clicks, views, X, Y, and Z. I genuinely believe that you're an individual who's very calculating what you say and what you do. So therefore,
I was coached by you.
Listen, that's why it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart.
It breaks your heart.
It really does.
Yo, that was a good comeback. Yo, this is hilarious. I was about to leave. Shit's just getting good.
Because she's attaching herself to something that doesn't help men, for real. That's why he's telling her that. This stuff that you telling these guys that you keep perpetuating with them is not going to help them to get to the women that they really want. You see? That's what he's getting at. That's what he's getting at.
This is crazy, bro. I don't know what to say about this. It's funny because you have Hafeez there comparing her to worst of the worst online, which is P-Hub and OnlyFans. That, in my opinion, it doesn't get any more like down low than that.
Okay, he didn't compare her to that, homie. What he said is that red pill guys, right? Y'all fit in at a 7 on their thing, and the next one is OnlyFans and P-Hub and shit like that. That's all he said. I mean, that's about right. Because most red pill guys probably gonna have some porn channels because they ain't gonna get to certain levels.
Sorry to all the do what you want, right? But that was a terrible thing to say. And I have to say this in Pearl's defense. I've watched her start from TikTok, and Pearl has put in more work, not just in releasing content, but also in understanding what this space is all about, better than some other male content creators who've been doing this for a while. So I don't agree with Hafeez's stance here in this part of the video.
And I can see why you don't agree with it, but the thing of it is this the right stance? Because what she's doing is not helping guys. If the end consensus of red pill is to actually help men, then what she's doing is not helping. But they don't understand that either. You can't. You will not get through to these guys, and that's why I keep saying on my channel that the red pill mentality is the worst one. They are stuck in there. They are locked in. You will not get them out of there unless they choose to come out.
Let's keep watching.
I lie to you.
Why?
Because first we had an A session. You weren't coached by me.
I know.
We had A session. I can't put my stamp on that.
I'm kidding.
I can't put my stamp on that. We having fun. We just having fun, right? So my belief is that deep down inside, I feel like you're a woman. How in the world do you believe everything a man believes? You should have nuanced positions. That's the beauty of the masculine feminine, where there's similarities and there's differences. So when I hear a logical woman, I definitely expect to hear her to communicate things that the logical male and female understands. But I also expect, because she's a feminine individual, and you believe men and women are different. So therefore, if men and women are different and both of them are communicating their ideas, there's going to be differences and nuances to their ideas. And so therefore, whenever I see, not saying you, because remember I told you initially, I don't watch a lot of content, so I don't know it. But whenever I see those pro-male, female content creators, and I see like they always have the same male talking points, and there's no uniquely feminine talking points that men won't agree with, but she stands in that because she is a woman and her ideas are different. Sometimes I wonder, is this person fully communicating how they feel, or are they at times pandering because they understand that by communicating this way to this audience, I'm able to do better?
Oh yeah, they're gonna get that. I'm telling you, that's what's going on. I'm telling you, that's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. The women do not think what these red pill dudes think. They do not think that shit, because too much of the red pill junk got to do with taking away from women. They do not agree with that shit. They can't. That's why you'll never catch them. You'll never see one of them date them. Watch that.
Not saying you're doing so. I don't want you to get mad at me, folks. I don't know your intention. I don't know you. I'm just communicating. So when you brought up the
irony in this, and guys, I'm about to check out. But the irony in what Hafeez just said there is that is exactly what he's done in this space. If anybody has pulled an Uno reverse card or an about face in their belief system, and obviously wasn't being completely honest on their perspective when it came to these topics, it's Hafeez.
Everyone is buzzing about honeycomb pasta right now, so today I'm gonna show you how to make it. But first,
that's why everybody's so shocked. He's the guy that seems the most disingenuous.
Now I'm gonna kind of agree with this dude right here on that one, because like I said, I seen some of that roommate stuff before, and a lot of it was about guys having a hard time getting dates and stuff like that. And so to me, he pretty much was a red pill dude too. And because he was even asking, he'd bring women on there like Shan Booty and talk to them. It's so hard for guys and stuff like that. And so no, dude might be right. It looked at everybody like he took a turnaround. It was seen that way to me. And that's not even watching much of his stuff. But I do agree with what he's saying today.
And not only because he's questioning how certain things are presented within like the manosphere or RP space, whatever you want to call it, but his attitude and approach. All this while claiming to be Christian. You don't leave an interview like this watching Hafeez the way he's carried himself, first of all, respecting how he's conducted himself, and also think that he was being genuine in his approach to this conversation. If we don't have the solutions and you have a passion to change laws and you think that's what men should be doing, my question is, why aren't you changing laws? Unless you think the laws don't have to be changed.
That's the thing, man. He don't think the laws need to be changed. He's not worried about that. He's getting his money and doing what he got to do and becoming a better man so he can meet a certain type of woman. Okay, which you don't think exists. But the 50% divorce rate shows you this type of woman exists. I'm just throwing that out there. Somebody didn't get divorced. That means that decent women exist, unlike what these guys are going to want to say.
And now you've changed your complete stance on these topics. Who here was being deceived? Or who's truly being deceiving? A lot of viewers and content creators probably agree that they think they've been deceived by Hafeez. Now, Hafeez is allowed to do whatever he wants with this platform. Of course, he's his own man, right? But
this guy probably was red pilled before and then started understanding that shit wasn't get him nowhere, and he changed. It's just like if you go and watch my Albert and Preach, I got Albert and Preach talking about this red pill stuff. They agreed with it on one point, then they turn around in other videos like, oh man, hell no, we had to walk away from that junk. Because if you want to ascend to certain levels, especially with women, you're going to have to walk away. These guys' complaints are complaints and changes that would turn back the clock on women. And that women ain't going to let that happen. They're not going to agree to that. Why would you even want it?
The disagreements he brought to the table weren't actual disagreements to the topics and perspectives that are shared by a lot of RP content creators. What it was a disagreement in solutions and how we should go about changing things. And my whole thing is you can't expect every man to play every role. Some people are there to raise awareness. And if you feel such a burden to bring change positively the right way, you should do that. And I would support that if that would be beneficial for men. Because when it comes to the topic of marriage, today, men are at a disadvantage. Guys, I was just mostly watching this whole thing.
You're at a disadvantage of getting married if you don't do the right thing. I know marriage is working out just fine. There ain't no disadvantage. If you're a loser, you might think it's a disadvantage. But it's guys out here that's working this job just fine.
So huge appreciation to anybody who stayed this far. I made it like 35 minutes in. As always, leave your comments down below. Curious to know what you guys think. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out.
All right, that's the Coffee Pod guy. OZ. Hey, look. I think Hafeez did a good job. And then he really got frustrated there because he went there talking to somebody he thought was going to be about facts and about numbers. And said she was about facts and numbers, they would have had a whole way different conversation. That conversation went where it went, but she had to take it where it went for a red pill audience. So see, that's why he brought the pandering thing, and I'm glad he put that in her face. It's about time some of these guys start being men. That's like when Fresh and Fit got in front of Britt and Renner. They couldn't tell. They could, back down from her like they was babies. And go watch my video about Brittany and see how Britt and Renner bodied them up. Brittany Renner bodies Fresh and Fit. So I'm glad to be able to see a man sit down as a grown man and be like, hey, look, man, I thought I came here and talk to you about this. But we wound up talking about this stuff. So if you want to go ahead and put more stuff out there so you can grow your little red pill audience, and I'm going to help you out. That's what happened right there. Most guys don't see that. You might think I'm right. You might think I'm wrong. You go ahead and you leave the comments down there in the bottom, and we're going to go ahead and talk about that. This has been Taurus Downey. Go hard to go home. I'm out of here on this one, y'all. Peace.